Welcome to Knicks Home Court with your host. My name is Greg Armstrong. This is episode number 64. The sneaky killer strikes again. Kristaps Porzingis goes for 40 points and saves the Knicks from doom. with help from his sidekick, Frank Ntilikina. All right. You know what, though? Watching that game last night was a lot of fun. I just wanted to say, young fans, savor this game. Savor this game. Don't get into any. The Knicks play tomorrow. They don't play today. So savor this victory. These is kind of the victories that you look forward to with a young team and to watch a young team grow. But the reason why I say savor this, young fans, and just fans in general, they won the game with their youth. They won the game with their future. You saw it all right in front of you. Kristaps going for 40. Frank Ntilikina hitting a big shot. Frank Ntilikina playing lockdown defense. And Hardaway scoring a bucket on the fast break. You saw the whole thing come together. Kanter grabbing a bunch of rebounds. Now, I don't know if he's a part of the youth movement, but he's still only 25, so you got to consider. Then you had the wily veterans, Lance Thomas and Courtney Lee. And I got to give a big plus to Lance Thomas because, see, that exactly is what a veteran is. He doesn't complain. He's not getting playing time. Maybe he complains to his wife. I don't know. But he's not getting playing time. He comes off the bench, and what does he do? Plays his ass off. That's what a veteran does. That's why you have veterans on the team. Veterans won't sulk. They won't whine and think that they're stars or great. No, veterans understand their role and their position, and they're fine with that. And he showed you why you need veterans on the team. And I'm going to tell you, there was a point in the game in the fourth quarter where the Knicks were playing lockdown defense. I mean lockdown. When you put, and I had said this before, and I didn't think it would happen from the beginning of the season, but I had said, look, if you put Lance Thomas at the 3, like the all defensive team you can put there, you can have Ntilikina at the 1, Courtney Lee at the 2, Lance Thomas at the 3, Porzingis at the 4, and Kanter at the 5. Now, if you do that, you have good defenders at least at 4 positions. And you can hide Kanter when you do that. You got defense at the point of attack with Ntilikina. You got defense on the wing with Courtney Lee and Lance Thomas. I mean, that's really good. I'm not going to say that's what I want, but periods of times in the game, sometimes you could do that. And the reason why they was able to do that with Lance Thomas, because he actually was making an impact on offense as well. Because you can't have some defensive players are literally a minus on offense. You can't have your players being a minus on offense. And he wasn't a minus. He had a little double pump dunk. That was cool. And it was really, really a fun game to watch. This team is fun to watch, especially when they play team ball. But I think the people from this podcast, y'all guys, now you see what I'm saying about winning basketball player. That's what Ntilikina is. He makes the plays that help you win the game. No, he's not scoring 30. He still had 7 assists, which he might be a better point guard than you know. And he was running, him and Kristaps running that pick and roll was looking beautiful. I think you're going to see more of them together in the coming games. Not, there's no reason to throw him in the starting lineup. No. Jarrett Jack is a perfect steadying hand. Don't throw him in the starting lineup as of yet, but I told you, the thing that's going to get Ntilikina on that floor is his defense. And you saw it in full display. Getting steals, deflections, disrupting their offense. He knew the pick and roll plays better than the team that was running the pick and rolls against him. Then he was picking up his man at half court. Them players are scared. One thing about an NBA player, I think that the second thing that, especially a guard, what they really are afraid of getting ripped, having somebody rip the ball from you, steal the ball from you, that's just going to be on a sports center. They don't want to get ripped. Just like big men don't want to get dunked on, or no one wants to get dunked on, nobody wants to get ripped, or nobody wants to get crossed. And mind you, Frank will get crossed, because when you play defense like that, you're going to come across somebody who's going to hit you with a quick crossover. But other than that, Frankie, baby, he be playing some defense. He has it. Now remember, now you could just say he's 19. And I think he has the ability, as he showed in the game. There was so many smart things he did in the pick and roll, like switching off the man. And he's 6'5" with 7-foot wingspan, so he can guard a small forward, even a power forward, for a few seconds, not too long. You don't want to, but in a switching situation, he can guard that man for a second and be a problem. And that man can't put it on the floor against him. Frank Ntilikina has a chance to be an elite, one of the best defenders at the guard position. Think Avery Bradley with long arms and more height. He has that chance. He instinctively knows where to be on defense, knows how to play it. Offense needs work. He needs to know when to be more aggressive. But again, fans, like I said, we need to chill out on that. We don't need to worry about that, because basically he hasn't had many games under his belt yet. As his confidence grows, he's going to do more. But he's thinking pass first. Right now, from what I'm seeing, Frank Ntilikina is a pass first point guard, a defensive pass first point guard. But defensively, I think right now he's better than some veterans in the league. Right now, I can say defensively, he's better than a lot of veterans right now. Even some stars defensively. And this is not a hot take, or the things I'm doing, the way he's positioning his body, the way he disrupts the offense. Not many great players are even doing that. So you got to understand the weapon that the Knicks have when every single team in the league runs a pick and roll. This is not like back in the days, throw it into the post. Every single team runs a pick and roll in the NBA. And you have a guy that can literally disrupt almost every team's offense with his defense. He's a high IQ player and a ridiculous defender who has the athleticism to actually defend and the body for it. He can be an all defensive team for the next. He could be an all defensive player, first, second team for the next 10 to 15 years, yo. You know what that's like? And then you got Kristaps in the back punching people shit in case you get by. Come on, man. Y'all don't even know. And if he starts scoring on the offense, he had 7 assists. I think he had 10.7 assists and 2 steals or whatever. He's going to lead the league in steals. I'm telling you that. That's going to happen in his career. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but once he gets the minutes. And one thing I would tell you, I'm getting excited at his potential, but I do know the league will adjust. The NBA is so good. Players will adjust to him. Teams, coaches will adjust to his defensive prowess. But the funny thing about that is but so much you could do when a guy's just a great defender. You think teams didn't adjust to Kawhi Leonard's defense or Avery Bradley? There's nothing you could do. This is not like football. Just put 2 blockers on him. No, it's not like that. There's nothing you really can do. If a guy's a great defender, he's a great defender. You could stop an offensive player, but it's hard to disrupt you have to. What you'll see is they're gonna start running him through a lot of picks. But he knows how to slip the pick. He knows when to switch the man. Really. And when you can disrupt the offense at the point of attack, teams have to reset. Then they're gonna have to rush because of shot clock. I'm telling you. And what more can I say about Kristaps? What more can I say? Right now, he's on a world tour going around the league busting everybody's ass. What can I say? The team is looking for him. They're together. They have no problem with him scoring, and I like the fact that he's scoring a lot of his points off of movement. I want him to score off of movement and design plays. That makes an offense unstoppable. You have players doing back cuts. The Knicks scored at least a few buckets just because they was worried about Kristaps, like that wide open three, and I'm glad he passed it to Frank. Frank missed it. He passed it to Frank again. Frank hit it. He hit a three to bring the Knicks close. He hit a three for the Knicks to take the lead. And I'm glad he trusted Frank. That goes a long way. But the chemistry, it looked like it was right there. Right? I mean, literally, KP and Frank Ntilikina looked like they played together before. Their chemistry was off the charts. I mean, he just was, it's perfect. Now, I'm going to tell you this. Ntilikina doesn't need to start yet. He needs to play with KP more. But what he's going to have to do is start to be more aggressive on offense. Because eventually, when he does this pick and roll with KP, teams are going to start just shifting over to KP. But Ntilikina has shown that he'll shoot that shot. He'll take the shot. Oh, y'all going to leave me open for three? I'm going to take it. And I'm going to hit it. Because he's a good shooter. He has a slow delivery, slow release, but he's a good shooter. And, I mean, the sky's the limit for that kid. I'm super excited about him and KP because the Knicks have two players who are distinctly unique. They have two unique players. A 6-foot guy with 7-foot wingspan. Why do you think Kawhi Leonard dunks on people? His arms are so long. He has 7'2" or 7'3" wingspan. A player like that? This guy is 6'5" with 7-foot wingspan? That's going to take place on offense too once he develops more and more. It takes time. His feet are still getting wet. So it was a great victory. The kind of victories that propel teams to bigger things. They're over 500. This young team with a few veterans. And then I go on Twitter, and what do I see? I see motherfuckers talk about Phil Jackson. Like, they don't want to give Phil Jackson credit for selecting these players. Look, as I've said before, Phil selected Porzingis. That wasn't luck. He took his time and selected him. He wanted him. He had a scout look at him, and he chose him. Same thing with Ntilikina. Some in the organization wanted Dennis Smith. He wanted Ntilikina. And the funny thing is, they made it known that he wanted Ntilikina in case Ntilikina failed. Now Ntilikina is playing well. A lot of people are going to take credit for Ntilikina. That's fine. I don't give a fuck. That's their business. But, you know, I'm like, y'all want to talk about Phil? I don't give a fuck about that shit. The Knicks just won a beautiful, great game. And y'all, this is what y'all want to talk about? And speaking of another complaint I have, after the game, see, I don't know how long it's been like this, but years ago, when Ewing was playing, and even after Ewing, but what I would do after the Knicks played their game, if they won or lost, mainly after wins, I would turn on the radio. And there will be a post game, and then the guy who comes on the show next would talk about the Knicks at least in the first hour, maybe 30 minutes or whatever, have a few callers, because everybody's exuberant. It's literally an easy thing to do. You know, after the Knicks won the big game, KP went for 40. Fans are going to be excited. They're going to want to call in. And I like to listen to that. I like to join in. I like to be a part of that community. So I turned on ESPN 98.7. And after they did the post game, they switched to ESPN All Night. Basically, ESPN All Night is basically a national show. And they're talking about football. And I'm like, this is New York. The Jets suck, the Giants suck, and Porzingis just scored fucking 40 points, and y'all talking about fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. What the fuck is going on here? So I've been spending part of the day looking for people who just even, because I noticed something. If this is what happened. This is what's happening in the media right now. When the Knicks suck, if you listen to a lot of podcasts, they'll say, we're going to talk about the Knicks just so they can shit on the Knicks. That's what they like to do. Talk about the Knicks so they can shit on the Knicks. And now that the Knicks are playing well, there's some silence. One of the guys who've been very silent, now I didn't listen to his show today. Well, actually, he wasn't on the air. Stephen A. Smith. He went on the air, gave a big speech about how bad Porzingis is and didn't even know. This guy is allowed to go on TV and say a bunch of bullshit, no fact bullshit. He be pulling shit out of his ass. That's why I tell people Stephen A. Smith is not on ESPN because he knows sports. Even though he knows some sports, he's on ESPN because he has a few connections to some of the players, especially in basketball, and because of his antics. He's what you call a buffoon. And I'm not saying that as an insult. Like, they have different kind of comedy. They have intelligent comedy. They have buffoon comedy. Buffoon comedy is when you jump around and you roll on the floor and you do a whole bunch of things for laughs. Well, his sports, the way he does his sports is buffoonery. It's you know, he yells and carries on and does all this stuff, and that's what people pay. That's why people watch his show, to see him get excited and say stupid shit out of his mouth. But as far as a sports expert, anyway, I spent too much time on dude. I'm sorry, folks. I did not mean to do that. Back to the Knicks. Back to my Knicks. So the Knicks play Orlando. Next game is Next game is Charlotte, and I think then it's Orlando. At this point, I can't even say what's a winnable game, what's a not winnable game. I'm still trying to figure out what these Knicks are. But the one thing I'm seeing, if not anything, because when they was down big, what I wanted to see is effort. Like I said, you can expect effort. You can expect effort from a scrub. It doesn't matter. And that's all I was looking for. Effort. Effort, team offense, team defense. The rest will take care of itself. When I'm watching the game, of course I pay attention to certain moves that players do and stuff like that. But what I'm really paying attention to, especially when it comes to the Knicks, team offense and team defense. And the reason why that's so important is that these guys are young. They're going to grow together. And let me tell you something. For all the people who love to tank, if the Knicks make the playoffs this year, they are ahead of the curve. They are ahead of the curve. And again, if Kristaps is the franchise player, I believe he is, they should be chasing a playoff seed. Because he's that good. He's that good. And he has other players on the team that are actually NBA players that are also good. So, am I expecting too much to expect the Knicks to win 35 to 40 games with a guy who's supposed to be a franchise player? Not just a franchise player, but they call him the unicorn. That means he's not like anything this league has ever seen. That means special, folks. Just like when LeBron James came in the league, nobody's seen a guy that big and that strong that could move that fast and handle the ball and that was nimble as him. He was special. He is special. Nobody have seen a Kevin Durant, a 6'11", 7-foot guy. Yeah, he's listed as 6'10", but it's a joke. They know he's like damn near 7 foot. And he can handle the ball like he can, running up and down the court. Special. Now we have a 7'3" guy that's unlike anybody else the league has ever seen. Is it wrong for me to expect big things this season? No. Then you have also, too, a big plus to Kanter. Kanter did not have a good offensive game. He struggled a little bit last night. But he still pulled down 18 rebounds. Again, a sign of a smart player. Let me do something else. I'm not playing well. Let me do something else to help my team win. When you start to see guys playing well together and pulling for one another, that's all you can hope for as a coach and as a fan. You see, when Ntilikina hit the shot, the bench were going crazy. Now, it's funny because Ntilikina was like, he was all calm and shit. Like, what the fuck are y'all jumping around for? And that's cool. That's his demeanor. That's how he get down. That's cool. You know? And there was a time when Kristaps hit a few points and Kristaps was like, let's go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Kristaps been feeling himself. That's why I call him the sneaky killer. Because he appears to be a nice guy, but beneath that shit, he's cocky. Trust me, he's cocky. He believes he's good. He believes he's as good as anybody in this league now. He's always believed that, but now that he's stronger, because actually he went for 40 in his last interview. I saw the post-game interview and on the court, and the lady said, oh, you went for 37. You're going to go for that again? He was like, more. I'm going to go for more. Now he went for 40. He's going to go for 50. That's how he's thinking. But I knew he had that potential because he could shoot threes and he could score inside. And literally, he could shoot over these little guys. He's playing with a bunch of little guys. He's playing against a bunch of little guys. He got a lethal jump shot, and I loved. And you know how easy the game is to him right now. Just turn around and shoot. What can these guys do but hit his elbow? Anyway, that's that. It was a wonderful game. It was a great game. And this could be the start of something, folks. This could be the start of something. And I'm not even talking about the start of something this year. This could be a start of a team moving forward. Say this year, right? Say they don't make the playoffs, or they just miss the playoffs. Or say they make the playoffs as an 8th seed or 7th seed. I would believe they're going to be better next year. Why? Because Ntilikina is going to be better, most likely. People are going to be more comfortable. So this is the start of something. You should get excited. Get excited today. Be excited today. And we're going to get into the game tomorrow, because guess what? They could turn around and lose by 20 or win by 20. So right now, the NBA world is not talking about the Knicks right now, and I get it. It makes sense. Why talk about them right now? This is 5-4. It's 9 games into the season. That's cool. I don't expect the NBA world, but God doggone it. When I turn on ESPN New York, I would think they would talk about the Knicks. Now, I don't know what Michael Kay and them fuckers did. They might have. I turned to Mike Francesa, his ass, talk about the suck-ass, fucking terrible-ass Giants. So, again, I'm thankful for those people, though. When Thanksgiving comes up, that's what I'm going to be thankful for. I'm thankful for ESPN and WFAN talking shit about the Knicks or ignoring the Knicks, because they allowed me to make this podcast and keep it real with y'all out there. So go ahead. Let them keep bullshitting. We got a party going on over here. And also, too, I appreciate the comments in the comment section. I like it. Even the long ones. I like it. This is what I want to create with this, is a community of intelligent Knicks fans, as I said before. And I like when y'all put the comments and say what y'all have to say. Even if you disagree, even if you have another point of view, all of that shit is good. Long as it's not like, stupid shit, basically. But I like it. That's, I'm not, without y'all, I'm talking to myself here. So I appreciate the comments, and I appreciate all the likes and things like that. And I have 100 followers. I have 100 subscribers now. That's dope. You don't understand. I've been doing this, this is the second year. And I remember I used to put up posts, and that would have 16 views. I mean, shit, I don't take nothing for granted. I see other people's pages got 50,000 views, and hey, that's great. But anytime one view was good enough for me, now I'm getting a nice amount, so I really appreciate that, folks. Anyway, I just wanted to take the time to put the shout out, and shout out to the grave night shifts. I know a lot of grave night shifts listen to this, and that's cool, because I know how it is. If you're working overnight, you want to hear some shit about the Knicks, and there's nothing to listen to. You like shit. That's why I try to put it up on a Saturday, Sunday, any day that people might want to hear something, But anyway, I kind of bloviated. I kind of ran on for a little bit at the end, but this has been Knicks Home Court, episode number 64. My name is Greg Armstrong. Stay tuned. Savor this time. Savor these moments, especially with the young Frank.